BRB UK. Worse teeth, better accents.
Hello, and indeed, ahoy, hoy, welcome one and all to episode 603 of BRB UK. I'm Dan, one of your hosts. I have played no video games this week. Well, I have, but I've just played the same old video games I always play, and you're probably not going to want to hear about them. Tim certainly doesn't want to, but I'm probably going to try and sneak them into the news section anyway. That's right, I've been playing Destiny 2. What a surprise. Tim, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm alright.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
To be fair, I haven't played any more video games than the ones we talked about last week.
Excellent. So you're going to rehash the same old nonsense you talked about last week. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Coleman, welcome back.
Hi!
You are a big old ball of mucus, aren't you, you little snotty goblin, you?
I had a horrible virus. That was fun.
Yeah. How many barrels out of barrels would you give it?
On the new barrel racing system, at least a 9.7.
A 9.7 on the barrel scale.
Yeah.
That is a meaty virus.
That's outscoring
meaty
Elden
virus.
No,
I don't think it was that
things.
kind of gut virus. It didn't give him an Elden Ring. By that, I mean sharting himself inside out every 3 seconds.
It was one of those things where it came on gradually, and then suddenly it was like, day 1, I think I've got a cold. Day 2, I think that cold's progressing into the flu. Day 3, I've got tonsillitis. Day 4, I've got conjunctivitis. I better go to the hospital and see what's going on.
Oh.
Mr. Coleman, you have a virus that is giving you all kinds of things as it passes through your body. Like,
lovely.
This is fun.
Remember to wash your hands.
Yes.
Yeah.
No licking things on the tube either. I know you like doing that.
Sorry, I really do like doing that. It tastes
so good
over at Tottenham
Is it
Court
the texture of the fabric they upholstered the seats in most of all?
No, I think it's just the bars that you hold on to. I think the tourists give it that extra little flavour depending on where they come from around the world. I should probably not do that motion to the camera.
Well, that one. On the greasy pole hand motion is what you're saying. You shouldn't do the hand motion for that.
Yeah.
Lovely. Well, this is a good start to the show, as ever. Good. Wow, what a week it's been.
Oh, yeah.
I have no money to spend on anything. We'll come on to it on the news, obviously, the Sony-related hardware news. But obviously there has been new iPhones and Apple Watches announced this week, which make next to no difference over the ones you've already got, but people will still buy them in their droves. All kinds of silly season on video game releases where, dear God, I've just got to save up so much money. You're going to talk about one, Coleman, that I really, really, really want to play, but just need to find some time in between adulting to actually play it. And perhaps that's where we start, Coleman. Let's start with you.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. And you have already got your background, what I was going to ask you about, and that is Astro Bot. Is it the best game ever? Yes or no?
No, but
what?
It's good.
Wash out your filthy mouth. Filthy X-Bot.
I mean,
Sony fanboys coming for
X-Bot.
you now.
Yeah.
So those who don't know, Astro Bot, nice little cutesy character that's been brought into the PlayStation world ever since the PS4. It was used for Astro Bot's Playroom, where they were showing off the features of this brand new fangled thing called the PS4. And then if you had the
or 5
the available
maybe.
No, 4.
No, 4.
And if you
4.
had the camera as well, then there was extra functionality for the camera. They then had a bit of a hiatus of the character until the PlayStation VR came out. He got his own game for that. A very good game, according to Tim. I have never taken it out of the cellophane, so I have no idea if it's good or not.
Silly of you.
Then Astro Bot came to the PlayStation 5. A nice, cool little packing game that you played that, and it genuinely felt like one of the best packing games that has ever been, in my opinion. And I really enjoyed playing it. And though it was short, I played through it all and platinumed it. And then even went and platinumed it on someone else's console because I was enjoying it so much. I thought, you didn't get the platinum, I'll do that for you. So, fast forward to now.
Before the mighty girthy E-peen of Coleman.
Yes. Fast forward to now. Astro Bot is now out as a full-fledged game, a full title release for the PlayStation 5, and it is a third-person character platformer type game. in the same kind of vein as the Mario 64 or Crash Bandicoot, or even the most awesome of all the character platformers, Croc, the Legend of the Gobbos, which
Croc of what?
Well, I think we can all agree that is a bit of underrated hotness right there.
It's
originally
nice.
developed as a Yoshi platformer, apparently, until they changed it into Croc for the PlayStation. Yeah.
Ooh.
Anyway, I digress. So the
Yes,
game is
you
out
do.
now. The game is out now, and where this character's been used to advertise hardware in the past, be that the PS4, the PlayStation VR, and then the PlayStation 5, you may be wondering how that affects this game. And it's pretty similar to the pack-in game for the PS5, because it's a lot of it's showing off functionality of the game's controller and the PS5 itself. It's also, everything is heavily PlayStation focused. I mean, as soon as you start the game and it asks you to pick a save slot, it pulls up original PlayStation 1 memory cards for you to choose from.
Oh,
And
that
then,
is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when the game starts, you've got Astro Bot and all the little Astro Bots and all the little PlayStation mascot themed Astro Bots flying around in their spaceship, which is a PlayStation 5, through space until they're attacked by an alien who rips out the GPU of the console and sends them crash landing
Hold you at gunpoint until you buy the pro version of it.
Yeah, pretty much. It did feel a little bit like that to begin with. Sends them crash landing off to into a barren planet, and then some of the little astrobots go to different planets, and some of them crash with the console itself. So once you've crashed, you've got the sort of shell, or the innard of the PlayStation 5, the black middle part. And then it's up to you to go out into the world and find the other parts to your missing ship / PlayStation 5, and to rescue all the little astrobots along the way. And immediately that's going to be where the most of your enjoyment comes from, because where my enjoyment came from the first game was finding all the little PlayStation cameo characters and seeing what they've done for them. So very early on, you're going to find the likes of Ratchet and Rivet, and also Solid Snake and Psycho Mantis. Solido Snake.
Solido Snake.
I don't know why we went Japanese for that one.
Oh, Snake.
Yeah.
Why don't you lay off the Asians?
Okay.
Wow. Jesus, Cole. Yes.
Yes. Much like the first game, a lot of this, it's based on what you can do with the console. So you've got your haptic feedback that is reflecting on all the different environments that you're walking over, be that sand or glass or plastic or stone. You're going to feel different vibrations in the way that the character is walking on things, and because they've got little metal feet as well. That's what's, you feel different ways, and it's that HD rumble effect. Touted on the Switch, but they seem to have perfected with the PlayStation.
Unlike Tim,
And-
HD Grumble is what Tim has.
HD Grumble. I like that. HD Crumble. Huh?
Nah, that's me.
Yeah, that's more.
That would
Dan's thing.
be if. Well, you remember when they teased Concord last year with a very shiny looking burger?
Yeah, that work out.
Here's a rendered burger. Can you imagine what this is going to lead into? It's another team shooter. Can you believe it? What we would do for our game that we're working on in secret is a HD Apple Crumble. Yum, yum, yum. Anyway, back to the game. So,
Are you sure you're feeling better?
Yeah.
no,
I'm not convinced.
There's no evidence.
So
You seem a tad
delirious.
that, I know I'm out of practice with the whole doctoring thing. You seem a tad delirious. Not going to lie.
I had my living nightmare happen as I woke up during some of the worst thunderstorms I've ever witnessed in my life.
Yeah, they were bad
because
the other day.
Yeah. I've got a skylight above my bed, so I just heard the rain wake me up. But then also I've got a really high fever and I'm delirious and lightning's going off. And you know when you do the counting from the lightning to the thunder to see how far away from it is from you, and you do it the first time, I was like 7 seconds. That's not too bad. And then the second one goes off and I go 1. So I was not having a fun day.
Oh, dear.
Fun night, sorry.
Oh.
Anyway, back to the game. So your main point is you go to different lands, you attack little characters with very simplistic kind of fighting mechanics, but it's mostly about the platforming and coming up to an obstacle and dealing with it in some form of way. It could be through an item that you've unlocked temporarily for the game. Like very early on, you get a kind of it's like a puffer fish that inflates and allows you to levitate pretty high into the air, and then you deflate it to land at a faster pace. Or there's these
You had
boxing
enough
gloves
of
that
fish,
look like
is what you had.
yeah.
So you go from puffer fish to enough of fish.
Or there's
See what I did
boxing
there?
gloves that very
Yeah.
good. There's boxing
Thank
gloves
you.
that look like frogs, and when
Right.
you wear those, you've got extending hands, like the old, like the hit video game Arms for the Nintendo
Yeah, I was about to say
Switch.
Nintendo already
Wow.
made that game.
This sounds a lot like a continuing fever dream for you, Coleman. I'm not going to lie.
Maybe. Once you go through, and then everything else is based on either punching things or having like a windmill wind-up attack where you hold down your attack button and then you spin around really fast, or grabbing things and pulling them, be that like a zipper to something or wires sticking out the ground. Once you've beaten a level and unlocked a bunch of characters in there, you move on to the next one, or you go back and repeat the level because you want to find all of the game's puzzle pieces, which unlock like all the PlayStation-y bits for the spaceship, or finding all the Astro Bots, which is your main one. Once you complete the level, you go back in and it gives you an option to pay. It's usually around, I don't know if it's the same the whole way through, but pay 200 coins because you're picking up coins on your way through, and then it will give you like a little helper that has a tracker that will show you where the different secrets are, so it'll help you
That's
find all the
cool.
Astro Bots if you're going through a completionist run. So most times you're not going to find everyone in one hit, so you'll end up playing the second time through, and then that's quite helpful, so you end up kind of playing each level twice, and it gives you a reason to do that. And then once you're done through all the planets in one section, then you go up against a big boss. So the first one they're showing in the
Ooh.
trailer is the big gorilla. To kind of go back to another Nintendo thing, inspiration in this, big gorilla throwing giant steel girders at you that you run over to then get over to the gorilla. So yeah.
Yeah, Nintendo already made that game.
There are
Coleman.
no similarities that are at all relevant there. No.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the final boss in this game is going to be. I'm tried really. When I'm playing a game that I might end up reviewing, that I
Andrew
don't
House.
look at. Huh?
No.
Oh,
wrong
that's the boss.
executive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I'm playing a game that I might actually end up reviewing, I try not to look at any reviews beforehand, so it doesn't influence what I'm saying, or if it accidentally lift something that someone said and burrow away in my brain thinking I've thought of it myself, that kind of thing. So I'm avoiding any Astro Bot-y stuff at all and letting it all be a surprise for me. But like
The
spoiler
reviews
alerts
are very
for the-
good, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard they're very good. I
Yes.
just haven't read any or checked any videos out. But one of my favorite things in the first game is like the big boss in that one was it was the Tyrannosaurus Rex from the old PlayStation demo disc.
Hey, nice. That's the
Which was-
PS1 tech demo, wasn't it? I think.
Yes. Yeah. It was originally a tech demo, and then they stuck it on the demo discs later, which I used to love playing around when I was a kid. So it was really funny going up against that. I'm really looking forward to seeing what we're going against this time. I'm hoping it's Mark Cerny, but we'll see.
I have a question.
Oh, I was about to get in with
Yes.
one, but okay.
I have a question. So there's obviously lots of kind of Astro Bot variants in forms of, the great and the good from the PlayStation Universal Stabler characters.
Yes.
Do the kind of different appearances you get or the bots you encounter, do they behave like those characters, or is it just a skin, essentially?
They behave like they're little Astro Bots pretending to be those characters. So they might, if the Kratos will be very stoic, but you might catch him doing something cheeky, back's turned.
Oh, that cheeky Kratos.
Jakey.
Yeah, much like in the first game. Did you guys happen to see
What's he doing to the female Astro Bots, for the love of God? This is meant to be rated for everyone.
Did you guys happen to see the little thing with Days Gone going on social media?
I saw
New.
something about it. I didn't know what it was referencing, though.
So if you remember the director, whose name escapes me because we weren't covering this anyway, but the director of Days Gone, he's been quite opinionated since leaving
Very vocal.
Ben Studios. Yeah, sometimes stuff I can agree with, sometimes a lot of times stuff I can't. One of the big ones was going off at the the players of Days Gone who went, "Hey, I really love Days Gone. Is there going to be a sequel? Will there be DLC?" And he had to go and went, "Why, mate, you should buy the game full price when it first comes out." Rah, 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 rah. I was like,
Wow.
"I did,
All right.
dickhead." But hey ho. So Sony Bend, they end up putting up a little caricature of an Astro Bot version of Deacon from Days Gone, and he's on a beach, and they wrote something like his job is beach, a little Barbie reference. And he's waving to Astro Bot. He's like, "Oh, that's a cute little thing." And then the director went, "How terrible that you've used Deke to shill for a lesser game." Pronouns!
Not according to Metacritic, dude, but yeah.
Oh, dear.
And I think all the Sony studios seem to do that. That seemed to be part of their launch thing, that all the Sony studios had a little thing with a little Astro Bot, which was quite cute and it was nice to see, and typical of that director to be a dick about it, but hey.
Yeah, I knew we weren't going to get a sequel with him at the helm, but the more he does, the more feeling I get we're never going to get anything to do with Days Gone again, which is sad.
Well,
I
brought it on himself maybe, but hey. I have a question, Mr. Coleman. Kind of have a two-part stupid question and a slightly more sensible one. But yeah, why is it called
Sounds like
ASBO
three
Boy?
questions. Sounds like you're going to
Or
ask
ASBO
three
Bot.
questions, not one question.
Kind of.
ASBO Bot. I realised I wasn't
ASBO
playing
Bot.
the footage this entire time.
Yeah.
Astro Bot. I have no idea why he's called Astro Bot. Is that
Because he's
something
from
you're going to
space.
drop knowledge
Look at
on
him.
me?
He's like a little lovable
No,
little spaceman. Like an
I
astronaut, but like a robot. Look at him.
I guess
Ah.
they don't make that clear, though. They've never made that clear in any of the games. And I'm surprised they haven't.
All
been
right,
sued
Tim,
by
I've got another question. Why
Astro
are you called
Boy,
Tim?
but hey.
Why are you
Because
called
that's
Tim?
what my parents named me.
That's
There
maybe
you
what
go.
they named him as well. They just decided
Means
his
honouring
name's going to be
God,
Astro Bot.
apparently. Anyway, but yeah, like the slightly more sensible question. In the VR game, you kind of, as you went through the levels, you'd often unlock like different kind of tools or weapons, as they often were, that then gave you access to like different things, but they tended to be situational for those levels. Are there any kind of things that you're unlocking that are particular to the level you're playing in, basically?
It's exactly like the previous game. You unlock things that are specific to a level that you're in, and then you lose it when you finish that level.
Yeah,
and then if you go play through it again, you'll find it again. And sometimes those items are repeated in different levels, like the boxing gloves and the robot pufferfish thing that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, just wasn't sure if they were like permanent unlocks that then you use throughout the game. But as you say, you unlock them as you go.
If you're after a 3D platformer, if you're after a character 3D platformer, if that's something that you've missed, then this is one to check out. If you've not played the free game already, if you have a PlayStation 5 and you've not played it, I can't think why you wouldn't have done that, because it comes with your PlayStation 5. It will be pre-installed, or if you deleted it thinking it was just a little stupid demo, then you can re-download it, whatever. Go play that first, because it is basically the same game. It's just longer and there's more stuff.
Also, I saw one level that someone shared online that was really, really hard looking. Like, is this a generally easier game, and are there like harder challenge levels that might have been one of, basically?
I would, because I've not finished the game yet, so I would assume that is the case. There were levels get harder the further you progress, much like the free game as well, like most games. So I'm assuming it was just part of that.
I kind of thought this wasn't your first rodeo about how linear games work.
No. But there was
The
just
further you get, the
one
harder
that
you
looked really hard for a game that's supposed to be, like all inclusive for all. But maybe younger children are better at platforming games than I am as well. But it looked really hard, like a lava type level that looked really difficult.
It's the most appealing game for children that children won't play because they're too busy playing Fortnite and Minecraft.
Yeah.
That's all they play.
Grumpy old man
Roblox.
gaming. Damn kids playing their Fortnite.
We're trying to get them off Roblox. There's too many predators there.
Yeah.
Same as Fortnite, really.
Yeah.
And Minecraft. Just keep kids away from online games, really.
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
Play this instead.
pretty much.
I've heard it's also not very long. People are saying about 8 to 10 hours.
I will let you know when I beat it.
Yeah.
How many hours have you put in there so far, Coleman?
Probably about 10. I've not played this as much as I had played. So I was playing Star Wars Outlaws for review last week, and I got about 20 hours in for last week. And now I've been desperately trying to finish that game for the review before I could start this one. So I'm a little bit behind because this arrived a couple of days before I'd finished.
Yeah.
But this
yeah,
looks just like a really
Does look
just
delightful.
wonderful love letter to everything kind of Sony Entertainment have really done on the PlayStation since it launched all the way back in the mid-90s.
I hope we get more from the character because
We
this
will.
PlayStation's always had a bit of a weird identity crisis when it comes to a mascot, and they started off and it seemed like it was Crash Bandicoot, and then the Crash Bandicoot ended up going off to what was it, Activision, and then we seemingly didn't have a mascot for the longest time. Even although in Japan they did have a mascot, and it was the two little cat things. We didn't really have a worldwide mascot, and I think Astro Bot is suitable for that.
Well, they did kind of use Sackboy quite a lot as a
Sackboy for the
PS3. For a few
PS3.
years.
Yeah, I guess so. I would have preferred that as well. I liked Sackboy, but I'm
Sackboy's cool.
guessing I don't think he caught on as much as they wanted him to.
No, but
that's
the
I think
Sackboy
that's the
adventure
problem
things was seriously underrated, and if you like
I know.
ASBO Bot and finish that, then go back to a bit of Sackboy.
Why do you keep calling him ASBO Bot?
Tim, I think Tim's trying to be funny
Oh.
because Astro sounds a little bit like Asbo. May as well full name, Antisocial Behaviour Bot. That I think is much catchier.
Yeah. That's only when he's being naughty, though.
No, but if you've got an Asbo, you've been naughty. I suppose you've been naughty. You could be a reformed Asbo Bot, couldn't you?
The joke, Dad.
Was it? Because I had to dig pretty far in for that joke. It was a bad joke, Tim. And I
never said it was good.
Of bad jokes.
I never said I was good at jokes. Bad dad jokes without being a dad.
Well, can't confirm. Was a rubbish joke. Anyway, Astro Bot sounds like
Sounds
it is
not rubbish.
all kinds of fun. I think I am going to pick this up. It sounds like it would be right up my alley and is storming to the top of many people's Game of the Year charts by the looks of things. So.
Yeah. It's $59.99 and it's out on PlayStation 5, and I'm sure at some point this will come to PC in like a year or two.
Did you get a physical copy, Coleman?
I did get a physical copy.
I was hoping you did. I might borrow that. That's
yeah, because I said I was going to lend it to my good friend Dan when I finished.
You get a copy of ASBO Bot, which ironically has no disc in it because it's been nicked.
I've also got a copy of Star Wars Outlaws going because I finished with that now.
Well, I'm playing that, so yeah, you can lend that one to Dan instead. I can exchange for the game that I've purchased this week, which I'll be talking about on next week's show, which is Marvel vs. Capcom Collection. So yeah, you might want
I already got that.
Do that as an exchange. Oh, have you got that as well?
Broken, isn't it?
Oh wow, look at
So
that! Just
broken.
brutal slap down. No,
I
not
haven't
interested.
played it yet, so I don't
Shut
know.
up. No, I don't want
It's just broken. No, I just loaded it up and it deleted all my save files and corrupted my system. I couldn't believe it.
Oh no!
Wow.
Cool.
Anyway, just briefly wanted to touch on Star Wars Outlaws, if I may, because I did prep for last week. Got struck down in the prime of life.
The prime of life.
And I did put my review for the game is up on bigredbarrel.com right now, which we keep forgetting to plug the new site. Yes. And the more I think about this game, the more I love this game, and I keep forgetting to. I keep going, oh yeah, I should have spoken about that in the review. I didn't talk about that in the review, but that's okay. Leave some stuff for a surprise for anyone that wants to play it. Yeah, Tim spoke about this pretty in depth last week, probably about 25 minutes worth in my estimation, and so yeah, I won't go too much.
As little as that, it flew by.
Yeah, it's just to sort of touch on what Tim was saying. I have finished this game. I checked my overall time. It was about 52 hours, I think, which I really, really loved all of this. I kind of found this a mixture of the Uncharted games in its style of both shooting and stealth, mixed with the kind of the way you're riding around the open areas on your speeder, very much like Days Gone. And then the spaceship travel, it's just something that I've always wanted. And then when you've mixed those three things together, it's like a really cool package that I really enjoyed, like going from, getting in a firefight with a bunch of Imperials on the ground and then getting on your speeder and then flying off to your ship and then jumping into space and hitting hyperspace and going to Tatooine, and all that was really cool. And it's the flight thing especially, I really, really wanted, because that's something from I've never got in games where you customize a ship or put effort into your ship, and it's something that you really like. And this is going to go the Destiny argument then. They go, oh, here's these cool spaceships. Aren't you happy with your spaceships? Anyway, time to fly them or watch them bob up and down on a loading screen.
Hey, Bob, what they bob up and down in a great way.
They do.
I love it when they bob up.
And I'm not saying every game should be No Man's Sky, because like when No Man's Sky first came out, a lot of the kind of wow factor was the taking off and the landing and the flight, and then everything else was kind of just there. And I'm not saying that every game needs to do that, because it was a lot of work that went into just the flight, and you're sacrificing other elements like the way the game looks. If you want a game to look like Star Wars, you're not gonna go for the No Man's Sky route. And then again with the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and for Survivor, like that game builds up and they go, here's your spaceship, get ready to take off. Oh, it's a loading screen, but you're in the ship this time. So it was cool just having that there. I really enjoyed that. Also, Sabak, Tim mentioned Sabak. It's a really, really good card game in the game. It's very addictive. I'm also undefeated in that game. And actually... are you undefeated by Moreland Tim saying, I've won 3 in a row? Well, at the time when Tim said it, and he was talking about the tournament thing he was doing, and he was like, on the second one, I did it in, what was it? You said like 4 games? Because in my first game, I went, I did it in six hands. And then in my second game, I did it in 1 hand. And I was like, yes, I am a golden god. I am undefeated. I am unbeatable.
It's the high roller games. I think I did the first one, like, I wasn't counting the opening kind of tutorial ones and stuff like that. But in the high roller ones, I think I won the first one in a couple of hands and the second one in 1 hand, basically. But yeah, like I really enjoy it. Just further to what Coleman was saying as well, I've put a good few 10, 15 more hours in it this week and continue to really enjoy it. I keep on expecting to hit a bit that everyone else is annoying about. On the flip side, I had a friend who's just started playing the game who contacted me after listening to last week's show. A friend I haven't spoken to for like a few years, other than through like sort of communications through group chats and stuff like that. But he contacted me individually and was like,
the marvels of modern technology hates him.
No, but he's one of the biggest Star Wars fans I know. And he hated this game at first. I'm hoping he's turned around on that possibly, but he really didn't get on with it. So it seems like it does seem to be a real Marmite game. You either love it or hate it. And I'm really glad that I came down the side of loving it, because when all the reviews hit, I was a bit worried that would not be the case. But I'm still really enjoying it. I also played a bit on my Steam Deck with the thanks to your friendly neighborhood Coleman setting that up for me, that's possible. And that works reasonably well, and that's quite good fun as well. But yeah, I continue to absolutely love the game.
Just to stress, he's talking about remote play.
Yes,
not playing off. Yes. Don't buy this for your Steam Deck.
No, it will kill your Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Well, it won't kill it, but it won't run well natively on it. Yeah, remote playing is the way forward.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really enjoying it. I don't get some of the complaints. I mean, again, I didn't, but and we're now in a different area than we were last week. And last week, all the reviews had come out and they were like the professional reviews. Everyone had their review copy of the game, and they came out and a lot of them were very negative, some positive, but a lot of very negative ones, especially on the kind of influencer side, the YouTube reviews and what have you. Now it's come more the influencer press like us, and there are a lot more positive videos and positive reviews out there. I have noticed. So I don't know if it's just that the review copies were that balked before release, and now it's
I think the day one patch helped fix a few things, and there's been another big patch this week, which has apparently helped some of the stealth sections and a few other things.
Yeah, that came out just after I finished the review.
Yeah.
And there was also quite a lot of negative sentiment about the day one patch essentially breaking everyone's early access saves as well.
Yeah, that was
not everyone. Cool I think it was a risk that was going to happen.
Yeah,
okay.
And a lot of people were preemptively angry about it. I remember seeing one
because it's the internet.
Said, I remember someone saying, "Hey, I put 120 hours into this game, and now you're saying start again."
That's a bit annoying. Yeah, I'd be annoyed too. Especially when you're paying for early access.
Yeah, I think I had one bug where Nyx, the little side character creature thing, just disappeared and didn't come back, and I didn't know what was going on. Other than that, and that was one where I just had to restart the save and they came back. I think that's the only game-breaking bug I saw.
I had
saw
one hard crash,
texture
and that's
issue
it so
where
far, so, yeah.
didn't have any hard crashes. One character, there's what are they called? A Mon Calamari, who's one of your fixers, your brokers, comes up with your contracts for you. Sounds like Patty or Selma from The Simpsons, and I really enjoy them. Because every time they talk, in my head, I'm going,
That sounds a lot like several of your impressions, to be fair, Coleman.
just like
yeah, there we go.
And yeah, I was there was a cutscene with that character and a different character, and it kept going between the three, but the Mon Calamari character wasn't there, just disembodied voice, and it was. It took me a minute to realize. I was like, oh, it just keeps going to an empty chair. I see what's happening. But yeah, very minor things like that. Nothing that broke the game properly. Just one that I had to restart a save on.
Yeah.
The open areas that everyone says are completely dead, I don't think they are completely dead. There's a lot of wildlife and stuff out there. There are, and also these a lot of these planets are meant to be like these kind of inhospitable areas in between,
like Tatooine,
cities
is a desert,
and settlements
like...
and stuff. Yeah. So
yeah, I'd imagine there's a whole lot of nothing on that planet by design.
A lot of dust.
So you do see the odd person like taking out speeders, or you see pirates attacking you, or pirate smugglers attacking you, and you'll see people on like the big backed speeder where they're basically transporting goods on them, and yeah, I really enjoyed that stuff. I thought it was really cool, and the kind of world building and the cityscapes and things I really enjoyed. I love just going into these big vast areas and seeing all these different people, and they're just having some people have conversations, you eavesdrop and you find out something for a mission. Some people you just listen to because they're being
I
weird.
really like the way they do that organically kind of thing. It's really interesting. I just landed in Mos Eisley last night, and that's hella good. Like that's like I only just got to
my
that
arms
in
tired.
Tatooine, but yeah, it's really good.
But isn't the? I mean, I think kind of the although it's a bit difficult to kind of separate out Star Wars from the game in this instance, but if it wasn't Star Wars, it was generic adventure space game.
I think that's an
would
oversimplification.
it be good? Is there a good game here, or is it mostly the Star Wars nostalgia carrying it through for you?
I would think I still enjoy it. A lot of the story stuff, they seem to have geared it more towards original trilogy over extended stuff and prequels and what have you. Although there's some prequel stuff in there.
But that's why, because it is between, but I think, Tim, as we said, it's between Empire and Jedi, isn't it?
Yes.
Canonically.
That makes sense.
But if this was a completely wholly original story, I think I would still enjoy it the same. I obviously wouldn't get the wow factor without Star Wars, but I'm enjoying this game for the game.
No.
There was a lot of fan service and things that play to that.
Oh, loads.
But it's still, I still enjoy the mechanics, even though some people are complaining about them. There's stuff that I like. I like the combat. I like the space combat. Like, it's stuff that I enjoy playing. So, yeah. And like you say, Coleman, the story's still decent.
Yeah, I beat the story. I bought the base game. Like I say, it lasted me just over 50 hours. I still have loads of side missions and stuff I want to go back and do. I've still got... I don't think I ever saw the sandworm that I've seen in the trailer.
Right.
I did find the Sarlacc pit. Because I finished the game and I watched the trailer and I went... Because I was putting it in the review and went, wait, I never saw a Sarlacc. And then I went back and found it.
There it is.
Yeah, there's loads of stuff like that.
Was he Sarlacking off?
Oh.
I mean, I almost spoiled it.
But
there's loads of stuff I've missed and I want to go back and do at some point. I've got other games I want to play and then I want to go back to this one. So this will be my little winter resting game. But also there's DLC coming.
Yeah.
There's DLC out. There's
I'm planning on buying that as well, which I didn't think I would, but I'm definitely planning on picking it up now. Yeah.
Same. I definitely want to play the expansions of this game. So I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, that's Star Wars Outlaws. I really enjoyed it. $59.99, available on everything modern at the moment. And if you have Ubisoft, if you're one of the two people that has Ubisoft Plus, then you can also play that tied into your subscription.
Yeah.
Lucky you. Lucky you. Although, if you can do Ubisoft Plus month by month, it's probably cheaper to get a month of Ubisoft Plus
I've
play
seen a
it
few
and then-
people saying they're going to do that to just get access to the game, and yeah, makes sense.
So another top tip.
It was
No,
funny
not-
when a friend of mine messaged me and they went, "So I see you was playing Star Wars Outlaws. Is it all?" They said more swear words, but they're like, "Is it rubbish and full of bugs like everyone says it is?" I was like, "Actually, no. This is probably my favorite game of the year so far. I'm really, really enjoying it." And they went, "Oh, I might go out and pick it up today." And I was like, "No, wait till it'll go down in price. Really, really good." I bought it for them for their birthday.
Don't do
No,
it.
no.
No,
It's rubbish. Yeah, I don't know about it yet.
You can't say it's so rubbish because then you can't give it to them for their birthday, though.
Mhm. So, and yet more Star Wars Outlaws. Was there one more you wanted to talk about,
No.
Coleman?
No, I didn't. I forgot to take that off the agenda.
Alrighty.
Oh,
Should we do some
I was
news?
looking forward to. You
I
talking about
think we should do some news.
I need to play a game for more than 5 minutes before I can review it, Tim.
it. That's fine. I didn't know.
It's
Yeah,
not
that
very
makes
good.
sense. Oh, we can talk about it next week. That's all
Right. We have to talk about it. Sony's
Yes.
officially announced the PlayStation 5 Pro, the worst kept
Oh my-
secret in video games until
good.
the next
Officially
one.
announced that they've lost touch with consumers again.
I
in the-
have a
Back to
question.
the PS3 era once again.
Go
I
on,
have
Dan.
a question.
Yes.
Go on.
Is it about
Why
hubris?
does it have gills? Why has this console got gills? I don't understand it.
Because they
The
need to
PlayStation
change the
fish.
look. They need to keep the look in alignment with the current rebrand of the PlayStation 5 that we spoke about. Was that last year? But they need to make it in such a way that it can still use all the same stuff. So they're not making special stuff.
Oh,
for
good,
one
because if you're
PlayStation,
dropping
stuff for the other
700
one.
quid on an incremental upgrade, being
Yep.
able to use the same chuffing side plates is top of your list of concerns.
The,
Yes.
the two,
I can't wait till we get to the question section because I've got
Yeah.
something about
Yeah.
this that I need to add.
but the two funniest things that I saw people say about on Threads, and I can't remember who it was, otherwise I'd credit them. But one of them
Oh,
said
to be
it
fair,
looks
there's
like
5 people on Threads, Tim.
well,
You can
yeah,
pretty
it looks
much
like
narrow it down.
it looks like the expandy straw thing where you've just pulled out the straw.
Yeah.
And someone else said it looks if you put the two consoles next to each other, PS5 and PS5 Pro, that it looks like two Canadian people talking to each other a la South Park.
Yeah, buddy.
That's
Which one's
That's
Terrence
racist.
and which one's Philip? Is what I want to know.
that's racist. I won't,
Wow.
I won't be part
Look,
of this.
we're a family podcast. I'm not giving you a
Well,
blowhole no matter how much
Da-
money you give me, Chuck Nut.
Dan's offended Japan, so I thought I'd take care of Canada this week as well, just to make
Nice.
sure.
enough.
Sorry, no.
When did I offend Japan?
Anyway, let's talk about the actual thing.
When did I offend Japan?
I think he's talking about the accents we were doing earlier.
Yeah.
I was not doing. Solid.
Do you not remember when you taped your eyes?
All right. I thought my camera was off. Okay.
Anyway,
And was it in the
yeah,
pre-show?
so-
Okay.
that-
For those of
that
you listening on
Coleman
audio, I
offended
did
France
not do
as
that.
well?
That's just
No,
Coleman
yeah,
trying to get
yeah.
me in trouble.
Yes.
I did not do that.
Succeeding at getting
So-
you in trouble.
Yeah.
There was a technical presentation, as they called it, a PlayStation 5 technical presentation that was hosted by Mark Cerny from Cerny.
And
Mhm.
can I just, and on this technical presentation, I just want to just before we get into what few details they were, I just want to commend them on calling it a technical briefing when there was next to chuff all technical details in there. Just want to put that there. Jesus.
No, there was a few. So they spoke about the kind of history of why the PlayStation 5 was the the way it was and the
Mhm.
specs and things of that before then announcing the PlayStation 5 Pro and the price and the release dates. This is going to be out on the 7th of November. It's going to be £699.99. Which, when you look at inflation and when you look at, the big argument on Jeff Keighley's gone, well, when you look at market inflation, it's actually a pretty good deal when you look at the prices of consoles.
No.
Shut up, Jeff.
Shut it.
Yes. Get back
Inflation
in your
means
box.
everything is worth more money, but without us getting more money, it's just worth more. It's not inflation. It's our money's worth less.
I think the better argument is that the component price of some things has gone up because everyone's, doing AI stuff and all the sort of CPUs and stuff has gone up in price. But traditionally, we've always had the case where console prices have come down throughout the lifetime of a console, and then the Pro comes out, and usually it comes out at maybe a slightly higher price than the previous the previous version of the console. But then that console comes down in price, and we're not getting that this generation, and that seems to hurt and seems to be out of touch as a result. I can understand some of the thinking, but yeah.
Whose cat is going spanners right now?
That is my cat going absolutely berserk.
My cat is sleeping.
He's incensed about the PS5 Pro.
Yeah, he's like, no,
What
that's
is
all
it?
my
Come
cat
with a
biscuits
stand.
going up in flames.
I know.
See, not happy about the lack of stand.
Are you?
That's okay. I'll take him out in post.
Oh,
So yeah,
take that hobnob.
as well as featuring a larger hard drive, 2 terabytes, I believe, for the solid state.
Not a hard
drive
drive.
as standard.
It's a super sexy drive.
Sorry,
I'll have
super
you know.
sexy drive.
There we go.
Mark Cerny from Cerny, he said that they were focusing on the big 3 that are to make it so
things
we're
you
not
can make
making
up.
between
Lettuce and tomato. The big
So-
3.
to make it so we're not selecting in between performance mode and fidelity mode, because apparently 75% of people tend to select the performance mode. I'm assuming the other 25% aren't switching because a lot of games do come standardly as fidelity, and then you switch them to performance. Now I think it's kind of going the other way, but yes, a lot of people switch over to performance mode, so they want to be able to show off those visuals while keeping the performance frame rates. Now, the big 3 to allow us to do that is a more powerful GPU.
But not CPU.
How much more powerful? 67% more cores. Compute
Core blimey.
units. It is. So I think it's going from 36 to 60, I believe.
Yes, 67% more compute units and 28% faster memory, resulting in up to 45% faster rendering for a smoother gameplay experience.
Oh.
Part number 2, advanced ray tracing, which doesn't that kind of roll into part number 1?
Yeah, well, yes and no, because it's technically
Right.
it is a different set of you need specialized compute units to efficiently generate and interpret the casted light rays in your simulation of lighting.
But is that
can see
using the
with my eyes
GPU
open.
or the CPU?
That is using the GPU. It will be using
Yeah.
the GPU.
So,
Yes, so I was right.
But yeah, but
You
I
can't
actually
just say yes, Dan.
no,
yeah,
never.
we're down
Shut
to the
it.
big 2 then, yeah? Just the big 2.
So
Big
And
3.
then, so that's
down to big
meant to
2.
help with the fidelity, basically. But upgraded GPU means
Unless you're
better
Dave
ray
Grohl.
tracing. Mm.
topical joke.
Very good.
Okay.
AI-driven upscaling is the third part. They are
Right.
introducing the PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution. Dan, what
Taking the
was that? What's that
PSS is
called?
what they're doing.
It's called the Pisser.
Back in the PSSR.
Engage the pisser vision.
See, that was the joke I went for, but everyone else is saying Pisser, and I like it, so I went for that. Uses machine learning. It's using AI to deliver ultra-sharp image clarity with exceptional detail. Basically, they're doing in the video and going, hey, the frames in between frames, we're
No, it's
generating
not that
stuff.
actually. It's not frame
Isn't it?
generation. It's not frame
is it not?
generation. It is upscaling. It's AI-driven
Right,
upscaling.
yeah. But I have a question, Mr. Dan. Is
Mm.
this something that they could implement
Dr.
with
Dan.
Dr.
Thank you.
Dan? I have a question,
Correct,
Dr.
Tim.
Dan.
Yep.
Is this something they could implement with the existing technology and they're just gatekeeping to the PS5 Pro to give it one more thing to beat us over the
Like
head with
Columbo.
to try and upgrade to another thing? And are they just ring fencing it unnecessarily to kind of give it something else to go with? In which case,
yes,
we're down to
yes,
a big one.
and yes and no. So the generation of AMD CPUs, which is kind of baked into the PS5, yes, you could do some AI-driven upscaling in software.
Yeah.
But really, I'd imagine there's been an upgrade to the logic in those GPU units as well. So it's a bit like with NVIDIA. They've got various flavors of their DLSS technology, which is the equivalent. So that's deep learning super sampling. And there is DLSS 1, which is on the 2000 series GPUs, DLSS 2, which is on the 3000, DLSS 3, which is on the 4000. Really confusing how all the numbers don't match up, but never
Right.
mind. So there have been actual changes to the hardware architecture underneath that, which allow for different things to be shifted into hardware versus into software, or it's more optimized to do it in hardware. So they could probably do it up to a point. And you can even see this technology on your Steam Deck. It can do super sampling on the Steam Deck using a not dissimilar AMD GPU. So yeah, some of it could be done. Probably wouldn't be able to hit the 4K 60 frames a second. And to be fair, the 4K 60 frames a second almost certainly is going to be thanks to super sampling to lower the effective resolution the game has to render at. And it's then using electric trickery to upscale it to 4K and make it look good while doing so.
So one of the things they've said is the PlayStation 4 Pro. So it's going to, it will include a regular DualSense wireless controller and Astro's Playroom pre-installed, much like the PlayStation 5 already does.
Yeah.
And there's going to be games optimized for the PlayStation 4 that will now feature a PS5 Pro enhanced tag. And they available at launch. There will be Alan Wake 2, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Demon's Souls, Dragon's Dogma 2, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. Finally, that game will play as it's meant to. Gran Turismo 7, Hogwarts Legacy, Horizon Forbidden West, Spider-Man, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, The Crew Motorfest, The First Descendant, and The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. Now, I have a lot of those games already, and a lot of them are physical games. The problem I have is the PlayStation 5 Pro will not feature a disc drive at launch, and you have to buy one separately, which I think in the UK they're £100.
Yes, I checked the other day. $97.99 is the cheapest I could see one for generally, and I think they're all going to be sold out by the time this console comes out.
People
as well.
are already buying them.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Save that. I have a theory on that. We'll get to that later. But also, it's not going much like the revision of the PlayStation 5 as well that came out already. It won't contain a stand. You have to buy that separately, which I think is £30.
£30
for a piece
so
of plastic?
$24.99, I believe. $24.99.
Oh,
okay,
25 quid. The same price
for a bit of plastic
as a DualSense charging kit.
I mean, I think what slightly gets in my craw about this, it's just the FOMO it gives existing PS5 owners. That it's like, kind of, I think one of the things that used to be great about console gaming was like a unified experience for everyone. And now with the kind of power creep with the pro consoles, you kind of get, here's what you could have won. Isn't it a bit better over there? Don't you want to part with another couple of £100?
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's...
I think that's going to be worse for
I feel
PSVR
that sits
as well.
right with me. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things. Like it has said that, it hasn't actually spoken about what support there'll be on day one for PSVR 2, and they said it will have support in the future, which kind of leads to the fact that it probably won't have any games that support it at launch.
It will have the support with all the games for the PSVR 2 that are around the corner.
Yeah. There's some really good games that are coming up, like Behemoth and stuff. So there's some good games going up. Which you own a PSVR 2, Coleman, so you should be more pleased about that.
And I own a PC adapter, Tim.
And how much have you used it? But anyway, from that
Never
list of
plugged
stuff
it
that's there's 2 games that I care about, like vaguely, and one of those I've played to completion already, and I'm not sure when I'll go back to it. Like, in fact, there's a couple more that I actually own, but ones that I'm not planning on going and playing anytime. The only one I care about is Gran Turismo 7, basically. And if that doesn't have VR support, then I don't care about that either. So, the only one is Marvel's Spider-Man 2, and I've already played that to completion. So I don't... There's not enough games that make me want to upgrade to the console, and there's too heavy a price. And if I don't buy the separate disc drive for another £100, that is half of my games I can't play on it. So that just means I'm paying £800 to play a game and a half that might get, and one of them might get VR support. Well, will get PSVR 2 support in the future. And I don't know what's happening with it, if it's down to developers or whether there'll be any native kind of upgrade. It sounds like there's going to be some games that will on PS4 and stuff as well that will get a bump from this as well. But it just they didn't do a very good job in this presentation of making it clear what games they're doing. And when they showed the side by side comparisons of stuff, I was like squinting to spot the difference and go. They had to like really zoom in on the crowd of Ratchet and Clank, and I'm like, I'm not sure this is the best game for showing this off, lads, because like some of the times I thought the screen on the left looked better than the screen on the right as well.
I mean, the clips I've seen was there was a big frame rate boost, and how much of that is true hardware grunt as opposed to the pisser, it's difficult to tell. Although, to be honest, it's AI-driven upscaling is something that's really revolutionized the graphical fidelity of PC gaming. How much of that, like we've said, could have been done in software on existing hardware versus locking it behind new hardware, it's difficult to tell. But in terms of, value for money, I mean, if you're buying if you're going, oh yeah, I'll have one at least, that sounds good. Probably, a lot of this conversation is irrelevant to. I think it is. I don't think it really represents value for money. Do I think it will actually impact the vast majority of people who own a PS5 already? Probably you're going to be all right. And the only thing you're going to ultimately miss out on, bearing in mind most people probably aren't gaming at 4K at 60 frames a second, is the warm, fuzzy feeling that your PS5 is a bit better than everyone else's. And if that's worth 700 quid to you, go for it.
I'd argue you would notice it. I mean, I'm already noticing it. Like I said, I didn't mention it in the review for Star Wars Outlaws, but I did in the written review. It's got a similar issue to Final Fantasy VII and to Star Wars Jedi Survivor, that they've made a very ambitious game that the hardware can't run properly. So you do end up with a very blurry looking game that I don't think is acceptable for you to be spending full price on. And when they've gone, hey, once again, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth came out as a PlayStation 5 exclusive, not coming to PC until at least 2 years after the release, most likely. And then they went, so they've gone, here is this console's official version. You can only play it on this console. Looks like crap. So...
But I think you are more sensitive to frame rates than a lot of people.
No, I'm not talking about the frame rates, Tim. I'm talking about the look of the game. It's blurry, muddy. I don't like it. And then they've gone, okay, so here's the new enhanced console that is going to make that game look better for £699.99.
Plus another £125 if you want to play with discs and want it to stand up.
Well, yeah, and I do because I have it physically.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. So that's another £125.
Yeah, and there are a lot of games this is happening with, and they are usually third-party games, but they come out on the PlayStation or they come out on the Xbox Series X, and they just don't look particularly good because the hardware can't handle them. And when all this, one of the selling points as well, where they've gone, the PlayStation 5 Pro will feature 120 frames per second gameplay where available.
Yeah.
You said that for the PlayStation 5, and you've only done it for 2 games.
Well, I mean,
I don't know if anyone can take advantage of that as well. There's not many 120.
I mean, is it that they're that I think,
and also they can't even show it off because YouTube only bloody shows 60 frames.
That was part of the problem as well. Yeah.
So, but is part of this a lot of? I think until really this generation, maybe the generation before, there was a lot more conscious designing around the limitations of the system and maximizing how good they could make it look within the, for want of a better way, budget they've been provided. Whereas now it's kind of just like, well, we'll throw all the bells and whistles. It'll have a frame rate like butts and we'll run at a resolution 240p. But hey, look at all the shiny things we've done. Is it actually the fact that perhaps they are concentrating? Maybe
they're already doing that now. It's called the Xbox Series S.
Yeah, aren't they? Yeah, aren't they? Are people perhaps, is it the way in which these games are being built and designed? And I know I'm sounding like a grumpy old man here. Actually, are they unrealistic, the expectations, given the hardware that can be attained for a 450 quid price point?
I think yes and no, because for me, I love the way that Star Wars Outlaws looks. I think that looks graphically really impressive. I don't have a problem with that, basically.
I'm going to send you a Digital Foundry video after this podcast.
Well, yeah, I watched the Digital Foundry thing and I've seen them sort of talk about it and stuff. But yeah, as I said, I'm just not as sensitive to frame rates and other things that Coleman is. And like, I don't know, like I just
Yeah, but you have eyeballs.
I think
you
that's
can
a pretty
see
game.
blurriness.
Maybe not. Maybe I need glasses.
Do you
Maybe
need to
that's
go
part
get
of the
your eyes
problem.
tested?
Yeah, possibly.
Okay.
Tim measures frame rate as fast as he can blink.
Yeah. 1, 2. It's moving
the
1
idea
frame
that
per second.
Tim comes back from the opticians. He's got brand new glasses. He goes to play his favorite game. And he's like, "Oh God, what's
God,
I
that's
done?"
horrible. Oh, but I can actually read stuff on the Switch screen for a change. There might be some truth to that, unfortunately. But yeah. Also, one of the things. Do you think we would have hit this price point without the disc drive and with all the kind of what I regard as mistakes in the pricing of this console, if they had a stronger competition at the moment? Because I think with no Switch 2 coming out for Christmas and with Xbox falling away and them selling like at the rate of 5-to-1 consoles, I think that's kind of made Sony be in the position that we disliked them for being in before as well, basically.
It does smack slightly, and I think you alluded to this earlier, it smacks slightly of the PS3 era hubris. They're getting away with it because they can.
Yeah, and I don't like that.
It smacks of when WWE purchased WCW and ECW and became the main players in town. And then everything went to
In good
crap.
news, though, this may be too expensive for scalpers to actually be able to purchase and flip a profit.
We'll get to that at the end of the show.
That's why they're nabbing all the disc drives, mate, because they've got to make their margins somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Let's move on. I am reminded when we did the PlayStation 4 Pro reveal, which, Dan, I don't think you were on that show. It was just me and Tim, and we were livid by that presentation.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things that were annoying us about that presentation, and I'm glad to see nothing's changed when we've gone one generation later. So let's move over to Microsoft, because that's not looking great this week. They announced today, as we're recording, that Microsoft are laying off another 650 more staff members from the business, and they are all from the gaming side of the business. There was an internal memo sent out by Phil Spencer, and that leaked out to the public, I'm assuming by a disgruntled employee pretty quickly.
Was it entitled, I need another Ferrari this year, so you're all fired?
No, you're thinking of Bungie.
You're thinking of Bungie.
Okay,
You're mixing up your millionaires, Tim.
Yep.
Possible billionaires. But yes.
Phil Spencer loves a Vauxhall Corsa, strangely enough. Car's not his thing.
Who's the one you always said likes a Winnebago?
Oh, that's probably got a Gabe Newell vibe to it, I think.
No, I think that was
what was
UK, Borderlands. What's his name?
Oh,
Sex Crazed Maniac.
Randy Pitchford.
Yeah.
Randy Pitchford.
Randy Pitchford.
Randy by name, Randy by nature.
Randy by nature. Lives in a Winnebago.
Loves
Makes
a Winnebago.
The dogging easier.
Anyway.
Allegedly.
I think we don't have to make up things about him. I think he's a bad enough human being. He likes magic tricks. You know what I mean?
Partial to a penguin, not the chocolate-coated kind.
In the memo, Phil Spencer said that the roles affected are primarily affecting the corporate and support functions of the business, and were made to organise the business for long-term success. He's also clarified that no games, devices, or experiences are being cancelled, and no studios are being closed.
Because they're not making any
cuts, which is, it's good news for all of those, unless you're the 650 people that have just been S-canned.
I have a question. Does the fact that it's not just games and devices, the fact that there are all experiences, what the hell is an experience that can be... What do you even mean by that? Oh, gaming experience. What exactly is that, Phil?
They're not making any more Xbox fridges for you to experience.
Maybe I'm getting too old for this nonsense. Back in my day, we had consoles and we had cartridges. None of this experience nonsense. The big experience you got was when you used to blow dust out your NES. That wasn't a gaming experience.
Anyway, so this
Anyway,
now
sorry.
builds up to
I
Microsoft
went very
having let
northern
off.
for a minute.
Microsoft have now let go of 2,550 members of staff ever since acquiring Activision Blizzard King for $69 billion back in 2023.
How many employees did
look at
Activision Blizzard have at that time?
4. They hired people just to fire them.
2,550.
And they still can't get rid of Kotick. He's clinging on
No, he's
like
gone,
a
hasn't he?
barnacle.
I think.
He's got a golden parachute, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not ready to get rid of him yet because it will cost them too much.
Approximately the
right.
salary of 2,550 people is how much it would
Evil
cost.
little leprechaun that he is.
It's not the money he's interested in, it's the human misery and sadness that Bobby Kotick requires to be paid.
Sacrifice another employee.
Yes. What? Sorry, I came over all
It does look like we're
megalomaniacal
just
there.
laughing at people losing their jobs.
Well,
so-
No, I'm
No,
channeling the
that's very
spirit of Bobby
sad.
Kotick is what I'm doing.
Oh, of course.
Right.
Don't think you should
Yeah.
do
No,
that.
I know,
Don't think anyone should
genuinely,
do that.
I'm not laughing. People losing their jobs is rubbish. I would never laugh at that. I'm just implying that Bobby Kotick enjoys the thing, and I'm channeling the spirit of Bobby Kotick.
Don't channel him, will take over your soul, Dad.
Yeah, I know, right? My cat is still incensed about something.
It's really pissed off about the stand. Really didn't
Really
like the
is.
stand.
30 quid for what?
For a piece of bloody plastic.
I mean, at least there's
just-
some engineering in it. The PS4 stand was ridiculous. That was literally a flat bit of plastic for 20 quid. Rubbish.
Just to just as a little PSA to everyone, because I had to buy a second PlayStation 5 charging stand. If you're doing the dusting and you pick one of those things up, don't rub a duster across it. Pulled all the pins out. Couldn't get 'em back in.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
they come out very easily.
Don't
Wow.
go back in so well, no.
No,
There's a
I
joke in
managed
there
to get
somewhere.
I managed to get one of the chargers working, but the other one just ain't having it. So I bought a second
Oh.
one, and now I'm gonna
Oh.
pull the original one apart and see if I can fix it that way. Because I'm weird. I like pulling things apart. See how they
Coleman will fix it.
work. Mm-hmm.
Like sandwiches. He loves pulling them apart.
Do actually.
No.
I've got a problem.
Not in the
I like
way
to
you
organise
expect. He likes to dissect a sandwich before eating it.
No,
What
I
Coleman does.
take it apart and reassemble it in the way I like to
Inside's on the outside. That's what you like. You like a tasty bread middle,
proper
don't you?
flavor profile. You see.
Mmm.
Anywho, shall we do the wrapping up of the show?
We probably
Should we
should.
commence with
Yeah.
the wrapping up of the show, Daniel?
Let us, forsooth. Verily, we shall wrap this show up and ship it off to Podcastville. Good day, good sir.
Because
Fly,
Chuck
my
Knott suggests
pretty
that
fly.
we should 3D print BRB UK stands for the PS5 Pro
Ah.
with Dan's face.
Yeah, that sounds like a
Hobnob
great way
likes
to
it.
get sued by Dan and Sony.
And my cat doesn't like it either.
I thought that
If you
was
keep-
that was
If you
sounded
keep drawing
more-
attention to him, it's going to be harder to edit him out.
Well, don't edit him out. He's a member of the show.
There he is.
It's
Say
our
hello.
mob.
Hobnob the cat.
Oh,
got
now
all
he's gone
shy
camera
names on
shy.
his neck.
Yeah.
How are you going to earn me my YouTube millions if you're shy of cameras? God damn it.
I think Hobnob was just asking where he can find Big Red Barrel themed merch from.
He's
Ah,
like,
yeah.
Dad, tell me how you can buy things with my face on it. Well, you could go to tpublic.com/store/BRB, buy things with my face. Other things are available, but they're not as good as the things with my face on them. That's right, my face, your face. Let's have a face part. What, Jesus Christ, what am I on about? tpublic.com/store/BRB. Go there and stop me talking for the love of God. What even is
Must
a
remember
face
to-
party? I don't know. Jesus.
I must remember to make some slides out of the merch that's available so we can start putting that in the show.
That's a good plan.
By my
Yeah.
face. By my
tpublic.com/store/BRB.
Yes, Tim, Tuesday is upon us once again.
Yes.
Like in a metronomically every 7 days fashion. What is happening this Tuesday on top of a table? Tell me, sir.
Okay, this Tuesday and each and every Tuesday, we do an event called Tabletop Tuesday at the Loading Bar in Stoke, Newington. This week, we have a feature game which you can win just by coming along and trying it on the evening. This week's feature game is Disney Villainous. It's a really cool little game. It's one we've had for a while, but one we haven't done as a pro. Actually, no, we've had it once before, but we're having it back again. And yeah, it's a really good little game, really fun to play, kind of simple and easy to play with really nice little statuettes of all the kind of Disney Villainous characters to play as. And yeah, it's a really fun one. You can hopefully, by the time this podcast is out, not while it's live because I had a busy day today, but it will hopefully be on the, I was going to say top left, but it's not top left anymore, but it'll be on the front page of BigRedBarrel.com. You can also search for Tabletop Tuesday and join the over 2,100 plus people in our meetup group by searching for Tabletop Tuesdays on meetup.com.
Tabletop Tuesdays.
Meet up with a double E, not as in beef.
No,
meat.
At the Tabletop Tuesdays.
Although they do sell burgers.
Bar in Stoke,
gaming themed
Newington,
burgers
on the 17th of September, one day after my little brother's birthday.
Ah, happy
8
birthday,
days
little
before
Coleman.
my birthday.
8 days before Tim's birthday.
And
So
1
we'll get you
month
another present.
and 3 days before my birthday.
I still owe
got
you
you-
a present though, Coleman. So
I already got you a present a year ago, Tim. God's sake.
Yeah, I gave you a Steam Deck for your birthday, Tim. Well, several birthdays that I owed you for.
Yeah, I actually had to give you some cash for that. But yeah.
I think that should be so.
What were we doing?
I'm now
yeah,
going
that's
to
right.
the other meetup.
Oh, what? See,
Yeah,
that's the thing.
don't go to the other
Oh,
meetup.com.
no, is that
Don't.
bad?
No, don't.
Is it
What if you
horny
replaced
pictures
it
of
up?
Internet.
beef dripping?
Dan, what if you
What?
replaced up for spin?
No, don't do that either.
Fun
My
times.
eyes.
My eyes, the goggles do nothing.
Yep.
Go to bigredbarrel.com.
Yeah, you should.
That is the new revamped version of bigredbarrel.com. The biggest, reddest site on the internet that's actually red now and
On
not
the
grey.
minternet.
It's pretty good, isn't it? Anyway, over there you can find our content, you can find our podcast, you can find anything new that we've been putting up because we've been writing stuff, other people have been writing stuff. The review for Star Wars Outlaws went up this week, like I said. There's another preview that's about to go up today as we're recording. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. That'll be good. And there's more stuff coming. So isn't that fun?
Oh, can
but
you
over
not
there-
say that like that, please, Cole?
Yeah,
Jesus.
Fun.
No.
Sometimes it's hard to breathe while I'm talking.
I was
so
going to say
need
there's
to
more
kind of
stuff
do
in the
weird
pipeline, but after
inflections.
Coleman's creepiness, that sounds worse. But hey.
There's more
There's
stuff to
more
come up
stuff.
from behind,
There's more stuff
from the back end
Oh.
to the front. Bow down and kiss the ring. Beat up.
from the moist trapdoor of the internet.
Anyway, Spiky
my
Chris
face.
Oh,
says,
dear.
this does not look like a hostage video.
I think
That's
that was
good.
in reference to Hobnob looking like
Right.
very rather than me being held here against my will for an hour and 16 minutes.
Go
I mean,
to
that's also
bigredbarrel.com, go read all the things, listen to all the things, and check out the links to our social media accounts. You can find us on X, Threads, and Facebook. We're also broadcasting live on Twitch and live on YouTube. Big Red Barrel on Twitch and Big Red Barrel TV on YouTube. And you can go ask us a question on any of those platforms, but we do prefer Threads because it's a nice little interactive community over there. At the moment in our BRB group, people are discussing if Space Marine 2 is any good. Apparently it is. So that's good.
Spice Marine. Otherwise, 97% less Cockneys this time around.
Heresy.
I would have bought that if there wasn't other things. Like I got Star Wars Outlaws, there's Marvel vs. Capcom, there's Plucky Squire next week as well. So
Oh, yes. I'm quite looking
I'm
Bucky
gonna wait to pick
Squire
up
is
Space Marine,
included in PlayStation Plus gaming catalog. If anyone is a subscriber to that,
is that the
I am.
which level of PlayStation Plus is it? The
Ah.
upper
minty
level?
fresh.
I don't know because I don't use it.
Okay. I might upgrade to that rather than purchasing it. Maybe. See what the price difference is.
Anyway, over on Discord, we have some questions. The first one is from Nitwit. He says, I have a question. Anyone's playing Space Marine 2?
Yeah, people are.
No.
I'm not.
But
Not
everyone else
yet,
is on Discord.
One day. There is also multiplayer for that as well, which is interesting.
Yes, the man
Apparently
called Rick
a
is
bit
playing on
more.
multiplayer, and I was tempted to go pick it up to go play with him, but I'm playing Astro Bot at the minute. So I know I did see wasn't there like a big fall off on the multiplayer side? There's still loads of people playing it, but it had like a drop of about 2 million players.
So apparently they said that you could play in groups of 5, and you can only presently play in groups of 3, and people were annoyed about that. But
yeah, so it will always matchmake 2 people in.
Yeah, or put you with bots. But yeah.
Anyway,
there's 3 of us.
3-player teams, 3 of us. Huh?
Yeah.
Crossplay. Is there? Is there?
I just need to buy it
Don't
first.
know. Yeah.
Oh, apparently there's go back to Star Wars Outlaws again. Apparently there's cross save now, so you can.
Yes.
You can. I might do my double dipping for PC now.
Ooh.
So my
I'd
regret
wait for it
is,
to drop in price, though, mate, on PC.
I've seen some pretty decent deals for PC.
Okay.
I should share them with you, shouldn't I?
Yes, that would be nice.
Sorry, I always forget to tell you guys when I buy things on the cheap.
Is it Steam Deck verified?
The other question is from Dragon Master Cal.
Wow.
I think I've said that right.
Kale.
Calais?
I would say
Kale.
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 I'm going kale. Kale.
Kale's
Delicious,
good for you.
but
Yeah,
not.
nutritional.
It was a super vegetable until it wasn't. Anyway, he says,
took off its
I
cake,
have
yeah.
a question for the show.
Very
With the
inappropriate jokes going
PS5
through my
Pro
head, never
priced higher than what I assume most people anticipated, do you think scalpers will try to buy out the systems and upsell them anyway? Do you think it will sell out anyway, like the prior PS5 console release did? I don't know if people are going to try scalp the system itself, but people are trying to scalp the disc drives.
Yeah,
by the
that makes
looks of it.
sense because it's easier to pick up loads of them and sell them on at a profit, I guess. I think it will definitely sell out, like most consoles do, and they'll know what kind of anticipation there is with pre-orders, and they'll kind of tailor it to that a bit, I would have thought. But also, it will probably sell out anyway. As I said, there's no other great competition for, big Christmas present. But does £700 plus, a possible £125, does that put it out of reach for Christmas present kind of thing? Am I out of touch? That sounds like a lot
Depends how
of
many
money
kids you got.
for someone's Christmas present for me.
Well,
I
that's
think-
not Tim, right? That's your
Yeah.
Christmas and your birthday and your graduation present
Right,
all wrapped
okay,
into one.
Yeah.
fine, all good.
Yeah.
But I
Also,
do
we're having one of your kidneys.
Yeah, but I do think it makes it a much bigger risk for scalpers. Like, I think it might actually put it out of scalpers' reach a little bit, which I don't know if
scalping
that played
stands.
into. No, but I don't know if that played into Sony's price point as well. Like, did they think, well, people were
No.
scalping? No, seriously, like
That's
when
like Oasis saying, "Oh yeah, the dynamic pricing is a way
Dynamic
to discourage
pricing.
ticket touts."
Yeah,
Do the accent, Dan.
Hey, dynamic pricing. Like trying to do it without invoking the swear filter for you, Coleman.
Aye. All right.
Hey, dynamic pricing.
No, but generally, like, I reckon there was quite possibly a Sony executive, someone that said, well, they were selling them for £700 when they came out anyway, like scalpers were selling them, so people will pay that. And I think that I could see that actually feeding into some of their thinking for why they released it at this price point and thought they would get away with it.
Well,
because people were buying consoles at that price.
I think the more depressing thing is, yes, people will buy it at that price.
Yeah, that is a bit of a problem. I won't be one of them though. I've bought every pro version of the PlayStation for the last couple of generations, and I won't be buying one this time around. I don't think.
No, I'm not gonna.
Every time
You can build a
Dan
reasonable
uses-
PC for not far off the cost of a PlayStation 5 Pro,
Yeah.
including the stand. Although you don't get an operating system or a controller for that, or a keyboard or a mouse.
Spiky Chris says every time Dan uses that voice, a letter falls off the end of his email signature.
It's all right. I've got 26 of them. It's fine.
Oh, there's one here not related to what we're talking about. Pensive Games says, just got here and I missed everything. That's okay.
Aw.
Even though the live streams go unlisted by midnight because the regular version of the show goes out the next day, the edited version of the show.
22.
If you have the link, it is still available. You
26.
can listen to the whole thing and rewatch it if you want. It doesn't get deleted. It's still there. You can still access it with a link.
Can hear lots of
Otherwise,
hobnob.
the edited version will be available tomorrow in the morning, most likely, if I sleep properly. Okay, that should be.
Are we going to go?
everything.
I think we should
Yeah,
go.
let's go.
Mhm.
Let's
I
go.
think we should go. Thank you, all of you. That's Pensive Games. As soon as I said we're going to go, Pensive Games just put yay in the chat. I mean, thanks. I mean, sorry we've overstayed our
Hold on.
welcome
Let's
and
do
stuff.
Let's do the tape. You announce we're going, Dan. Ready?
We're going to go. We're going to go.
Yeah.
There we're going to go. Or I'm going to go. Thank
so
you.
insensitive.
I know. Thank you, one and all, for coming along if you're watching this live or for downloading us and putting us in your ear holes. If you're not, we will be back next week with some semblance of a show, we hope. And all that's really left for this particular show is to remind you that I have been Dan.
I might have been Tim.
I've been Astro Bot.
What?
Should have queued that up better. I would have planned that if I realised before.
It looked like on the video you were going to sneeze. Is what
Yeah.
it sounded like. And my cat is being a noisy so-and-so in the background still. Now that I've talked about him, he's gone away. He's like, no.
Yeah.
No, I don't want any
Yeah.
part of this
That's how
now.
it
You're
works.
talking about me.
He
There he
voiced
is.
his opinion on the pricing of PS5 Pro.
He's still,
done his
he is,
bit.
he is still not
See?
happy
Not
about
happy.
it.
Not happy about it at all.
Not happy. Nope, not happy. Still not happy. Remains unhappy.
£825.
Yeah, how much? Right, we're going to go.
603 episodes.
Thank you. Thank you for coming along. Thank you for listening to us. We'll be back next week. And until next time, dear listeners, toodle bye.
What did you say your name was?
You and your ears are quite welcome.
For the podcasting goodness that you just heard,
Why not roll on over
to BigRedBarrel.com.
for more podcasts?
News, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet. BigRedBarrel.com.
Feel sorry for the devs. I mean, it's a team of kind of 150 people or something like that, I think, put this together. And when there's more people staffed at the studio than there are people playing a game in a 24-hour period, that's got to hurt.